Hi guys. So welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm going to be talking about the book that I have been reading, I've listened to on Audible. It's called Feel Good Productivity. It's written by Ali Abdaal. So the author is very interesting because he is a YouTuber and previously used to be a doctor, and there's something about the way he writes this book that totally makes a lot of can gives you tips on productivity. It's mostly about productivity, and if you're one of those people that tend to make a lot of goals and you don't know how to accomplish them, this might just be the book for you. This book is just so great. So I'm gonna start with the tips that I got from that has really helped me. And so on to the first point. He talks about, he mostly focuses on three things. That's play, power, and people. So on to play, he discusses the book entirely based on creating environments where things can be fun, or making work to be a lot more fun and adding some an element of fun to it. Would it look like if this thing had a fun element? So what would you do to make that work that you've been postponing for a long time more fun? And he talks about adding something like say music. If you're listening to music, everything, the rhythm of music just makes your heart, just raises your mood. And this is one of the things that he talks about. He talks about feeling good that leads to success, and not the other way around, where success leads to feeling good. He talks about elevating your mood fast so that you can be able to perform all those things that you need to do. And you have been in this process where we are in this journey where you want to succeed, you have all these goals that you have to accomplish. This talks about following the first next step that you need to do. For example, if you want to exercise, what's the first thing that you need to do for you to be able to go to the gym? Say, go to the gym. So he recommends just breaking down the process. For example, start by what is the first step that you need to do. You need to buy your gym gear, your workout gear. That's the first step. If you just get on to wearing your workout gear, you're almost halfway there. And then so it's the first thing that you need to do. Second part is about people and how people can make you probably accomplish those goals that you thought you'll never be able to accomplish. For example, if you want to go to the gym, it's so easier to have a friend go with you to the gym. Think about that friend that can make you go together, partner with them together and go running. It makes the whole process so much easier. He also talks about creating time. And one of the things that I did after reading the book was to create time and put it on my calendar, because it's so easy to miss. So do something if you don't know what to do. So having a plan is so easy, and having a plan and putting it down on a diary or somewhere like on a calendar. And these days we have Google Calendar, which is like synchronizes all your documents together. Just finding that tweaking that environment for you to find that mood. He also incorporates the power of habits, and he talks about the book Atomic Habits. In Atomic Habits, he talks about playing with your environment. You do things that you have planned for. So for example, if you want to journal, having a notebook and a pen nearby when you're seated will make you want to pick up the book and just read. If you want to drink water, for example, having a glass by your stand or by the table where you're seated or where you're resting will make you just want to pick up the glass and drink some water. So it's about playing with your environment, playing with things, so also playing around with technology. So these days technology is is such a distraction. Sometimes you find that you want to go on Google to look at your calendar or to look at your shifts and see how you'll be working, and by the time you know it, I've gone into Instagram. I've already created a reel, or pretended to create a reel. I've opened so many things, and then I come to realize, oh, what did I want to check? Oh, I was probably just checking my shifts, and I didn't do that just because of the distraction. But he talks about logging out or removing all those apps that are such a distraction to us, say like Instagram, and playing around with having to open them in a web browser, so that by the time, every time you have to log in, log out, it's going to be so tedious, and you're not going to even bother about it anymore. It's going to help so much, rather than having the app on your phone where you can just open it and scroll down mindlessly, and then by the time you realize it's 30 minutes you could have probably worked out, and that's a lot. So onto power, he talks about sometimes we postpone things because we don't have the confidence to do something, and this is because sometimes you feel like you're uncertain, you don't know how to do the thing, or what if I fail. He talks about elevating your confidence and just channeling, for example, a mentor, somebody great that you resonate with, makes you be able to accomplish what you wanted. And it can be as little as just thinking, oh, today I'm going to crush it. I'm not going to doubt myself, and I'm going to do this. So that resonates with me a lot. He also talks about how sometimes the thought of doing something can be, or the thought of failure can be so blown out of proportions. For example, just thinking, he talks about thinking of that thing that you're thinking of as a failure. Will it matter, for example, in 10 minutes? Will it matter in, say, a month? Will it matter in 10 years? And how you're going to feel about it. And sometimes you find that these things that we are so afraid of doing can be so blown out of proportion, and probably it wouldn't matter in 10 minutes. So why just go ahead and do it? On having so much on your plate, you want to accomplish so many things, and you have all these goals in your calendar, or in your diary, or in your vision board. But remember that you cannot be able to do all of them. Just have goals, yes, and also make a priority to prioritize, or make a plan to prioritize some of these goals, because sometimes you can overestimate the power that you have to accomplish all these things that you want to accomplish. But just remember that it's not always possible to do all these things. So just prioritize, and then celebrate your small wins. And celebration is such a key element of productivity. So he talks about making a couple of goals, and then looking back into the future, say 12 months into the future, and then deciding what you want to be celebrating and how that celebration is going to be, and all the steps that you're going to take to get there. And this can be such an energizer, because it energizes you to be able to go forward, so that you can celebrate these things in like 12 months with a friend, and talking about how you did it, and just looking at that celebration in future can also be such a key energizer, and can also motivate you to get to where you want. The last thing that was such a good idea from that book, or such a good addition to productivity that I really loved, was about positive moods, positive emotions. And when you talk about positive emotion, also linked to mood, and how mood can make you more productive. And sometimes it's so hard to get out of bed just because you're feeling in a bad mood. And he talks about endorphins and dopamine and oxytocin, and oxytocin being linked to people and bonding and engaging in community. So that's where the power of people come in. It talks about endorphins, that is including something that makes your body move in some type of way. He explicitly talks about a place where he talks about nature and how having a bit of time in nature can have a significant impact on your moods. And he talks about patients, two groups of patients who are put in different rooms, one group without any element of nature and another group with element of nature, and these groups were suffering from depression. And the study found that the group that had nature in their environment, some form of nature, it could be a window looking out into a green field, how that had an impact of making them require a low dose of antidepressants. And that's the type of positive emotion that he talks about, bringing it and adding it to your day-to-day life, because it can improve how you feel, and when you feel good, you are able to accomplish a lot more. So it doesn't have to be a long time in nature. It can be just 5 minutes in nature, just 5 minutes of walking in nature in a field and just soaking all the fresh air in, and that can make such a big impact in your day-to-day life. To plan days in your calendar or in your time where you can just relax and chill, because we don't always require to be focused or just get it done. Sometimes we just need to write a day off and not do anything, not partake in any walks, not partake in any music, just sit down and do something that is like a lazy indulgent, like say sit in front of Netflix and not worry so much about anything else, and just pick up from where you left. And he also says about not feeling guilty, or not feeling guilty for the things, for maybe not being able to get to that work when you needed to get to that work. And that feeling of feeling guilty can be such a negative emotion, and it can undermine your confidence. Just being able to look at it in a positive way. So for example, I didn't go jogging, but at least I got to sleep, and now I wake up and I feel energized, and I can be able to study because it's already night. I cannot be able to go to the gym. I can be able to study. I can be able to do something else. I can be able to cook. So it's about changing all the emotions around resting, and how sometimes you have guilt about resting. But if you cannot be able to, or if you're tired, if you burn out, it's about changing how you feel about taking a rest, and not being guilt into feeling bad for taking that rest. Anyway, the book is on Audible. I listened to it on Audible. I've listened to it, I think 2 times. It's so easy to listen to books. But anyway, the thing with reading or getting information is that there's so many ways for you to get information. And if you're a visual, it doesn't matter whether you're visual or you're somebody who listens to things to learn them. All in all, it is a good book. And I did get some good ideas from the book. Anyway, let me know what ideas you have been practicing or you have incorporated into your work space that has made you productive in the comments below. Anyway, subscribe and like, and see you next time. Bye.